Boeregs are crunchy and salty, so you get a crunchy mouthful of cheesy goodness. Hi, I'm Blake, and today I'm going to show you how to make boeregs. Boeregs are a flaky Armenian puff pastry. These things are delicious. They're a perfect little appetizer, or sometimes you can have them with coffee or tea. They make a nice light lunch, but they're also just a great way to start a meal. My dad's family is Arabic Assyrian, and my mom's family is English. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, where nobody knows what an Armenian is. So this is something adapted from something my grandmother would have made. A lot of these recipes are written down in different church cookbooks. These are two different fillings that we're doing today. They're both cheese, and they're both very savory. When you're making boeregs, especially if you're making spinach ones, you need to really wring out your spinach and any other herbs. You want to get as much moisture as you can out of them. You don't want them to steam, you don't want them to be soggy, and you also don't want the mixture to be so pasty that you can't handle it appropriately. We're using a low moisture, high fat KASHKAVAL from Bulgaria, sometimes called Rhodopa. KASHKAVAL is typically a sheep cheese. It's actually a whole grouping of cheeses. So you can use any sort of sheep cheese that's nice and salty. You can also find it in the grocery store under something called kaseri with a C. But I've seen recipes for people using Munster. You can use just a regular feta. You could use something like Valbreso. Anything. You just need to sort of balance it out with salt because these are both really salty cheeses. So when you're working with phyllo dough, you want to keep it moist at all times or else it's going to crack and fall apart. Using a ruler to get a consistent size on your strips will let you have a perfect triangle shape every time. Make sure that the dough stays covered at all times. Take a rag or a paper towel, get it wet underneath the sink and wring it out thoroughly before you put it on top, or else even in 5-10 minutes it will completely dry out. I think growing up it was a little bit difficult for me to identify with being Armenian in any sense of that. Food was one of the ways that I sort of connected to my parents and my family's culture. Being queer in Nashville wasn't always comfortable, and then coming to LA, I felt like I was comfortable being queer and then suddenly presented with being Armenian because of my last name. I had never really known a lot of Armenian people in Nashville, and I'd always felt sort of outside of the heteronormative culture there. And then coming to LA, once again, felt like I was put outside of another culture and sort of looking inside of it. I think living between two cultures and being queer actually very similar, and that you always sort of find yourself on the outside of mainstream culture. Whether you're a queer kid or mixed race or have parents from different cultural backgrounds, I think that trying to find connections wherever you feel comfortable is a great way to figure yourself out. Food was a way for me to connect with both my parents' heritage and my queer identity, but I think it could be anything for anyone. You just have to figure out what it is for you.
Oh, yes!